The Simpsons animated series has already existed I feel like a million years, with an endless number of seasons, episodes and related merchandise. And as is customary with merch, some of it were terribly bad, and the other part was awesomely cool. Just the same, today the game based off the yellow-faced dudes belonged to the second one. But nevertheless, not everything is so smooth with this game, and it also had plenty of problems, and therefore we drove to see what was wrong with the Simpsons Hit and Run. According to the classics, the PC version of the game did not want to run in any, but also according to the classics, since it has versions for consoles, I played them, namely the version for PlayStation 2. It even supports widescreen resolution and therefore there will be no difference at all. Also, due to the fact that this is cartoon, I didn't get it to the end. At 60:9 the picture is stretch or normal. The screensaver without Maestro Ralph Wiggum doesn't look as cool as it cool looks with him. The intro of the game begins, it seems, in a standard way, as the cartoon begins, but after flying through the letter P, the camera immediately flew to the Simpsons house, skipping the classic Simpsons intro. It's a shame. From this flying Robo-Bee, you can see that the story is about something that is connected with the flying Robo-Bee, which is not yet known what it is and where it comes from. In the meantime, the characters do not know this, they just like in the Postal, fuck the comparison, live their ordinary lives and carry on the standard everyday tasks. And the first assignment will be to drive to the store for ice cream, because someone ate all the sweets in the house.
Oh, must have been one of our kids. Probably Milhouse.
In the course of the assignments, Bart will meet us for the first time, who, breaking the fourth wall, will tell the basics of controls, naturally seasoning in Simpsons signature humor.
Okay, homeboy, here's how you drive this crap box. Press the X button to accelerate and use the left analog stick or directional button to steer. The circle button is your brake and reverse, and the square button is your handbrake. You know, just like every driving game ever.
Sitting in the car, you can find that it has no roof, even though it was in the animated series. But that's nothing, because other cars that could not cut off the roof have a translucent roof while the heroes are driving. And to this day, I still don't understand the meaning of this decision. Well, like, will I see the backs of the characters' heads while they drive, so what? They don't do anything inside, why do I need to look at them?
Okay, you know.
And I will have to look at the backs of the heads while driving quite often, because probably 90% of the tasks consist of driving. And the ride itself is normal, the controls are comfortable, everything works as it should. But when I launch a Simpsons game, I expect a little more than just a crazy taxi with Simpsons textures.
Ooh, brain like shiny thing.
Yeah, great. Those shiny things are called coins. Whenever you get enough of those, you can get a cool surprise.
And where the dollars you used in the show go? Why did you suddenly decide to switch to Super Mario currency?
Nobody knows why these things have turned up all over Springfield. They always seem to turn up whenever something exciting happens.
Show up when something exciting happens? Now Homer just walks around and absolutely nothing else happens. What is exciting about it?
You can go inside certain buildings by pressing the triangle button. Ugh, why did I agree to do this stupid tutorial? It is so boring.
All kinds of references to certain episodes of the animated series are scattered all over the locations where we will walk, like this grandfather who throws himself to go to the future. Or just the characters in the background are walking around and doing all sorts of funny things peculiar to those characters. Why did I say locations? It's because they are semi-open world. They let you into a small location in piece of the city and you walk around and it complete quests. Then at a certain point the chapter ends and you are already in another location. It's a shame, because I would like something in the style of GTA in the world of Simpsons. For some reason we didn't have to pay for our scheme. Apparently Apu is already used to the fact that everyone always steals everything from him. And what money can be spent on is clothes, each of which the characters were in the particular series, as well as the cars, who also appeared in the series. Also, I didn't recognize some cars, but most likely it's because I have hemorrhoid Alzheimer. We return again to Marge, who gives us a new assignment.
Homie, Lisa left for school without her science project. Can you get it to her?
Woman, you also have a car. Could raise your yellow ass and while I was slightly at a poo, take him. But we don't just have to get to school, we need to get there faster than Skinner. Because as soon as the director crosses the threshold of the school, he will instantly give Lisa an F from some fucking reason. And all because most of the tasks in the game have time limit, either standard with a timer or this one in the form of a race. And whoever came up with this idiotic mechanic would like to deport it to Shelbyville. What the hell is the point when the open world, albeit particularly if on every mission you are rushed and not given the chance to stop near some interesting place and explore it? And when I get to destination first and the race is over, I can stand in one place for less than an hour and Skinner Chandler will not come and give Lisa an F. It probably doesn't hurt to say something about the graphics. Even though it's cartoony, which keeps it well, and even though it looks quite normal at times, it's still a shame that they didn't make it in a 2D style, as they will do in the next Simpsons game. That game is 16 years old, and visually it looks like it came today. Returning home, Marge told Homer to go talk to Flanders, who was unhappy about something. Homer went to talk to Flanders, and it turns out that some things were missing from him, but he does not know that it was Homer who stole them. But Homer, for some reason, instead of stealing something else, decided to return them to him. Since when does Homer do this? The excuse was that Flanders reported Zev to the police, but knowing what kind of police in the city, one could not worry that they could find something.
Sorry to disturb you, Dr. Hibbert.
Not at all, officer.
And all these things that needed to return for some reason scuttled around the city in random places. What was the point of stealing tuxedo, a lawnmower, a photo of the Flanders family and Todd's inhaler to put the sidewalk near the house?
Stupid Flanders.
By the way, absolutely all the characters present in the game were voiced by the same actors who voiced them in animated series, and the quality of the voice acting is also not inferior into original source, which is simply great.
Homie, you're late for work.
Returning home again, Marge reminds Homer that should actually be at work, and therefore now he needs to drive the quickie to work, and of course in parallel breaking the car of Mr. Burns and Smithers, because the boss won't know I'm late if I rip his car apart in front of him. And in order to destroy his car, you first need to go to Barney and buy the truck from him. Am I the only one who thinks that during this time Homer could immediately go to work and get there much earlier than Smithers?
If you ever feel like getting a new set of wheels and you're not picky, just talk to old Gil. He's always got a couple crap boxes to sell.
Bart told us that we can buy even more cars from Jill, and I can't understand why the hell we need so many cars if the main ones are enough to pass. Okay, there was a big city in the game to explore, but no. And Gil's cars are sold standard, not some kind of cult ones. So I don't really see the point of buying at least something from him. Sorry Gil, but you once again choose a crappy profession for yourself.
Honey, you should have seen me with my last customer. No, but I came so close. This guy was... Whose voice is that?
Some cars do not have an animation for entering the car, because they are apparently lazy. Running around the city, you can stumble upon characters who give you additional tasks, for which you will receive their car. And there are two problems with these dudes. The first is that in each chapter there is only one such dude with an additional task, which is very disappointing, because there is desire to explore this a bit small piece, but still the city from my favorite animated series, but besides collecting there is nothing to do at all. And the second is that the cars that we get will still appear in the plot in the future and we will still ride them. Couldn't it have been more different? For Cletus, the first thing to do is collect boards, from which he will build boxes, in which I will then collect tomatoes for him. But having collected these boards, they will immediately tell me to go to tomatoes, and which of these boards manage to build boxes will remain mystery. In the PC version of the game, I remember that the car could break these bees, but in the version for PlayStation, the car just drives through them. This is fucking shit. In the car that we get from other people for completing the task, since they do not belong to us, we will sit in the passenger seat, and the character to whom this car belongs will drive, and in addition, while riding, this character will yell all sorts of unique lines.
I done did that before.
But sometimes these are also jams with this. Also, another character is driving, Homer will sometimes react as is his driving. And in other chapters, if you call the car receiver in the last chapter, for some reason it will be without a driver. When Homer came to work, he noticed cameras that were watching him and didn't let him sleep. And so he decided to break some electrical things so that camera couldn't look at me, because that's how cameras work. In addition to bees following us, there were also black vans following us, which...
Oh, homie, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Scene of sexual indecity I probably will not see today. And of course now we will have to follow this van and check who they are and what we are being watched for. The van stopped at the Burns gate, so Homer ran to tell Marge what he had now found out. But before continuing to follow Burns, Marge instructed us to crash a truck that delivers disc with very violent video game. And to be more precise, not to break but to knock, so the disc fall out of it and I pick them up. Because by stealing 10 cases of disc with the game, I will greatly interfere interfere with the sales. And why does this truck generally drive with the open body carrying some kind of cargo?
If only kids would play more video games about sharing.
GTA is about sharing. Civilians share their vehicles and the money with us, and I share my bullets with them. And the kids play it, so you're wrong, Marjorie. At every location I can find Milhouse, Nelson and Ralph, who arrange races, for the passage which I will receive some kind of car. And also most of the game is built around driving. This very driving is not very suitable for racing. And having tried one particularly such race, I crap one pants and never run them again. It would be better if they gave us some additional side quests. And after losing this race led by Nathan, I suddenly heard a comment from Patty or Selma.
Well, it looks like you're your father's.
What did they forgot here? Homer told Carl about what we found out about Burns, but apparently it was somehow heard by Smithers.
Oh no, he's going to warn Burns!
How he heard it's not clear, and how he managed to repair the exploded car in less than a day is also not very clear.
Smithers, release the hounds. And if this oaf is an employee of the plant, fire him at once.
Smithers has not arrived yet, and you are outside your house. Where will you find the dogs?
I don't...
What are you happy about, Damas? You just have fired. The second chapter has begun, and now Bart has become the main character instead of Homer. And in each subsequent chapter we have to play all sorts of different characters.
You better get out of here, Bart. Principal Skinner's looking for everyone that skipped school today. And when you're caught, it's expulsion, Bart! Expulsion!
Thank you so much, Milhouse, for the tip, but it's okay that you are also in the same school and you skip the same school in the same way. And why is the director suddenly decided to walk around the city and look for Turans? He has nothing else to do. And then Skinner saw that Bart was not in the class, but he would decide to expel him only if he could catch up, because we live here according to the laws of Fast and Furious, and if he cannot beat me on the road, then he will not have to ride even to come close to me. Most Tavern never had potholes like this. Sometimes the navigator behaves like a complete god, and it would be fine if the arrows on the road always worked and showed the right direction, but sometimes they just don't appear and I'm going the wrong direction. In this chapter the additional text was given by my grandfather, whose blood was stolen and I need to return it, and therefore I went straight to Mo.
Mo, do you have any human blood?
Nah, what about goat blood?
Sure, why not?
Due to much screwing the delivery of a new video game, Bart can't find out copy for himself, all those pre-Xbox Live, PSN and Steam problems, so he travels all over town trying to get the game for himself pull out. How most of the races in the game work. You toggle left and hope for the scooter, or later an enemy will bite into the barrier or will miss the speed, which does not always happen, and therefore it all depends purely on my luck. As for the chasing missions, sometimes you have to chase a car that hit the wall.
Hey, Snake, what's up?
Do I know you, little dude?
You were selling fireworks to him about 5 minutes ago. What's with your memory?
Why don't we race for the radio?
Who would doubt it? It's strange that in the game there is no suit for Bart when he was cut baldly and a skin with a white t-shirt and a cross. As soon as we run away from the pursuer, we can immediately return to the direction where he just chased us, and he will not be anywhere nearby and he will not continue to pursue us.
My monkeys have escaped. Can you catch them for me?
We interrupt the Simpsons to show you Ape Escape. In order to neutralize the Frink robot, we need to destroy the cars of mobile phone users. And just like that in Springfield of the 2003 model, there are already 4 people on the whole city using mobile phones. Where did the robot come from? Who knows where it come from, but by protecting it from getting out of control, Frink will give us a copy of the game, because it somehow keeps him from going crazy. Why, how, where, why, I have no idea. And since when does a car antenna needs to be used for use mobile phone? For some reason Bart decided to visit this robot, apparently in order to annoy him more, so that he would have more desire to destroy humanity, and instantly run away, where he was captured by aliens, putting an anal prop on him. Oh, that not that cartoon. And at the expense of this robot, it would seem that it was presented in such a way that it could be revealed and some kind of boss, or at least somehow participated in the story. But no, everyone will completely forget about his existence after this scene. And since Bart was taken away by aliens, now I have to play for Lisa, whose hair is worse than everyone else, has passed into the 3rd dimension, and the face in principle is not better. And it seems, at least sometimes, the designer somehow screwed up the size of her model.
Don't touch that! That is a ticket to the unreleased Itchy and Scratchy episode. I would only trade that for a complete set of collector cards. Please to note, I said complete. I'm not going through that crap again.
Yes, having collected all those cards that are lying around in the locations, apart from the wasted time, we will also get a nice bonus in the form on the episode of Itchy and Scratchy. So there is some kind of motivation to run around and have open myths in search of these cards. True, no big.
I need to find my stupid brother.
Lisa's main task will be to find the missing Bart, but the fat comic book guy will only agree to help it if I help him get to the race comic first. How my sitting in the passenger seat will help him overtake the opponent, I have no idea. But be that as it may, during this race you can hear the melody from the start track. Or it seems to me, but I don't give a shit, I'll take away the scene anyway. Then Lisa went to find out about Bart from Milhouse, who began to send her different places, in each of which he appeared despite the fact that I was driving a fast car, because the blue-haired bespectacled children invisibly highly developed Forrest Gump syndrome.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Oh, hi Milhouse. Are you unwell? Searching for Bart led me to Grandpa, who said he saw Bart being dragged in the black car.
Better use something big if I want to take that car out.
First, in the same phone booth available are already a lot of large vehicles capable of blowing up car, why a bus? And secondly, it's okay that inside of these machines Bart can sit, who after the explosion can die. Oh, nothing, okay.
Oh God, I destroyed the limo and killed Bart.
Somehow it dawned on you. Yes, and the fact that you killed Bart upset you, but the fact that you also killed a bunch of these drivers' machines, you don't give a shit.
Now, first of all, if we're gonna go undercover, you will need a disguise.
Sometimes, in order to complete a task, we need to buy certain items, which are usually marked on the minimap with a $sign. But just at the moment when I really needed these clothes, this $sign disappeared from the map, but it appeared back when I had already reached the right place and I no longer needed its sign. What the hell, developers? But this is nothing, because sometimes we will need to buy clothes on a card for task, but we will not have money for this. And instead of giving us some kind of side quest, even the simplest one, they gave us open world and said run collect coins. And while are you collecting these coins, you may chased by the police, who will quickly grab you and take some of the coins, because of which you will have to run even longer. Wiggum needs help finding this piece of evidence against Snake, so that he can be jailed. But instead of walking around some crime scenes, maybe even from the show, we naturally drive after him and catch evidence falling out the car.
That's only because I'm a very, very bad cop.
After the destruction of limousine, a new timer has started, during which I need to find Bart on the ship. The task is not difficult, but I accidentally failed it, and the checkpoint threw me back to the very beginning of the task, even the battle of the limousine. After my car blows up, I can still get in it and keep driving. It's a funny little thing. As a result, Lisa found Bart, who was zombified by aliens, brought him home, and now Mommy got down to business in order to save her son.
Everyone better stay out of my way.
I can't let go of the question, why the hell would an asphalt road with the markings be needed inside the corridor? Cletus has some info about Bart, but he will only help when I help him with his harvest.
Harvest? If I'm going to be doing yard work, I better change, or my next mission will be to get mud stains out of green rayon.
You will spend all this time in the passenger seat and don't even think about getting dirty. Why would you need a change of clothes? And what kind of housewife are you that you don't have clothes for dirty work in your wardrobe, that you had to buy a prison uniform for this? Of all the cars with a character behind the wheel, the Fat Comics guy's car amused me the most for his rare commentary about the time I tried to enter the car from the driver's side.
Oh, please, you can't figure out how to enter a car. It is hard not to make fun of an idiot like you. You are a classic fool.
What kind of cars are they also unreliable that sometimes constantly falls out of them in the...
Here's your crazy medicine, Grandpa.
Hot diggity! Sweet, sweet medication! Gimme, gimme, gimme!
Oh, great. Now I need something to wake him up.
It's okay that his eyes are open. We learned from Grandpa that this Buzz Cola, which was produced by aliens and which zombifies those who drink it, it's to blame for everything, and therefore I need to go home to find out from Bart about this Buzz Cola. In order to enter Bart's room on the second floor, you need to jump into it through the window, because Marge forgot how the stairs work. You just fucking sat in a nursing home. How did you find yourself here? Are you an elderly teleporter? For some unknown reason, Marge is a Comcast costume mentally forces me to go in a more detailed study of this character in more interesting services with more interesting clothes. March hit the truck delivering this alien cola, after which we switch for a sudden for Apu. Why exactly Apu? Who the hell knows, but I was so filled with the animated series in my time that I would have played for every character from where I pleasure. And he also has a funny car, which is too small for him and therefore his head stick out of the roof. And he also had the cutest moment while driving.
This is just between me and you, random object.
But most likely it's because he's Indian and everything that comes out of Indian's mouth automatically becomes cute.
Oh, today is such a nice day. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm so happy. It's very nice, very good. Oh my god, I can't believe it's so nice. It's such a pretty...
Oh, I have been selling tainted cola. Unless I redeem myself, I will be reincarnated as a sea cucumber.
Dude, you have half of the products in the store expired and you just drew a different number on them to spell quickly. Why now did you suddenly panic?
Hello, stereotypical Italian.
You don't say. Dr. Zoidberg informed Apu that all the diapers in the city were gone, and the Shelbyville dude should be prevented from stealing the rest, because we are flumbered for how straight the game diapers they fucking ran out. But Apu's car is not suitable for this, since there is no room for many diapers in it, and therefore he bought a car from Homer, in which, as for me, there is not much more space. Well, of course, before that I will have to run around and collect coins that I don't have enough to buy this car. Why does a flying car jumps on pits if it's flying? Controlling the camera in this game is very painful. Only local platforming hurts more than this, in which, due to the crude camera, it becomes terribly difficult to hit the right platforms. We had a time limit when we drove to the museum for the first time, because it was supposed to close soon and we had to hurry. Now we stole the keys to the museum from the director and we don't need to hurry anywhere. Why is there a time limit again? Apu and Bart got to the museum, where they found an alien cola, which suddenly revived a dinosaur that could become a boss fight, but we are playing the wrong game, sorry. Well, of course, our beloved twins turns out to be involved in this, who wants to zombify all the people of the Springfield and launch a Halloween episode. But so far this has not happened. We again switch to Bart, who tries everything resisted. We enlist the help of Otto, who must first take the children to school via versa. And I will of course miss the point how he picks them up, but why after he picks them up do they not appear inside the bus, whose roof you did not draw, so that you can see how you did not draw the passengers as well. The car starts to move even before the driver sits in the driver's seat. This is one of the most dieable races in the game, which I had to replay probably 12 times, and one which I managed stupidly by chance. Somehow this truck manages to be faster than my sports car. In order to Krusty to believe Bart about the aliens, he need to drag the laser. I got the laser and for some reason went to Skinner, told him that you need to warn all people about aliens, despite the fact that you are already doing this bitch with Krusty. Why the hell did this director surrender to it? How can he help you? Well, at least the game helped by letting in one more run. And sometimes coins decided that they need to float in the air, so that I triple my time picking them up. I was wrong, it was not the most disliked race in the game. From now on, each race will become more and more powerful, for which of course you will need to thank stably limited timer or cheating opponents, an idiotic minimap, buggy arrows on the road, and cops prevented you from passing in addition. And this fucking thing that fucking not let me pass through the time. Homer and Bart got to the brewery, but did not have time to stop the aliens, and so the Halloween episode began. I love the Halloween episodes in The Simpsons more than anything in the world, and therefore it's just minus scene, that's it. We are playing as Homer again, because apparently the Simpsons characters are too few. Let me play as Grandpa Greedy.
Oh, I need your chainsaw to chop up attacking zombies.
They won't let me use a chainsaw. There is nothing interesting about this mission with Smithers, except that after the passage it bugged and it could be launched after the passage. I thought it was just a new job and I could get another car, but no, it's the same. I have no idea who'd want to go around tasks with an instantly limited timer, which they enough, but oh well.
Yes, I recommend you obtain a zombie car. It will protect you well, but it runs on human brain.
All this time I was driving ordinary cars. I didn't know any problems, everything was fine, but then suddenly it turns out that I needed a zombie car just to get around the city. For what? And how could you fucked up the joke about the fact that the car needs brains to drive? If Homer got into it and it refuses to go, that would be funny. At least to me, maybe. There was a similar joke in Halloween episode and I laughed, fuck you.
Brains! Brains! Brains!
day. Professor Finn told us that the only thing that can harm aliens is nuclear waste, who said that he hid them all over the city.
Here's the map to where I buried nuclear waste barrels all over Springfield.
But as soon as the mission began, we will pick up the waste in a circle several times, constantly in exactly one of them place. The school can only be entered through the front doors. Am I the only one who wants to decapitate blind children from this sinking floor? Fucked up ET reference, hello. I don't know about you, but I laughed my ass out. We're flaring from a witch on broomstick that exploded from a collision with a wall. I've already lost count of how many times this fucking unstable barrel flew the truck, exploded, and I have to drive the new one. And constantly fucking it always happened to the end of the race, so I had to drive as much as possible. In the end we finally got to the last barrel to the plate, from which this plate exploded and it fell to the ground. Homer got a handy thing for scratching his ass, and the Simpsons went out to sing to the couch, waiting for the next episode to start in a week. And the aliens ended up in a human paradise, from which one of those began to rescend, and the second answered him.
At least we don't have to sit through the stupid video game credits. No!
This is how the Simpsons Hit and Run ended. A bit different from what I initially expected from them, but nevertheless it's still a cool game that you can play with a pleasure even today. Especially considering that some fans are doing either a remaster or a remake, I still don't understand. But it looks interesting and it will be even more interesting to play in. In the meantime, like this video, repost it, subscribe, write the comments, what was your favorite episode in The Simpsons, and kiss my shiny metal ass. Oh, that's not the cartoon.